Hey guys, it's Selwen here. So today we got some pretty juicy announcements, as in Eon blessed us with a stream, not a Q&A mind you, but just as a way to inform us of new content to come. Now you can see this recent stream event was a bit of a panic strategy in order to bring some life or hope back to the people heavily criticizing Battle for Azeroth, and with good reasons. That said, this could just be a new means to present future content, which is quite cool, especially since future content for Battle for Azeroth was all pretty vague and mystery. And we'll get to what I think about this new content, but first I just want to share with you all everything new coming to the World of Warcraft in the future patch 8.1 called Tides of Vengeance, which is also coming to the PTR later this week or on the next one, so expect some more news coming soon, with of course data mining. So first of all, was the emergency button on allied races pushed? Well, no, but it's actually coming rather soon after this patch, sometime after. Its requirements though were announced, requiring you to finish the war campaign, which is being extended, and be exalted with Zandalari Empire for the Horde or Proudmoore Admiralty for the Alliance, so get on it. This being Zandalari and Kul Tiran allied races. Along with the continuation of the war campaign, the story will further advance, primarily the faction war, which seems to be the big theme around this patch, which was something I predicted in my leveling review, so I'm pretty happy about that. But along with the extra campaign, there will be more world quests, of course. Some characters will be brought to the forefront, like Saurfang, Tyrande, and of course Vol'jin, which we just been teased recently, so expect similar quest chains like those in Zandalar. To add more feel to the faction war, a new quote-unquote content will be introduced called Incursions, which is basically the demon invasions of Legion, so the ones we got around the Broken Isles. So I assume will be just as the Legion ones, with a different skin, popping around the various zones, but instead of demons will be Alliance forces or Horde, possibly coming in ships and stuff, emphasizing more of course the faction war on each continent, which on the story side of things is pretty cool, and the visual to actually see some faction war happening on these continents, which has been pretty absent since Battle for Azeroth inception. Gameplay wise, if it will just be an actual reskin of World Quest content and instead of a demon ship at the end is like a naval ship, we shall see. In general, for world stuff, a lot more faction war related content, which personally is pretty cool, at least until all the Nagas and all god goodness jump on us. Now, still related to the quests and story and all of that, I'm pretty excited to say and to know that yes, we'll have heritage armor for non-allied races. This was something talked about on BlizzCon and is now coming true, at least slowly, only for dwarves and blood elves for now, so fits for my main. But to obtain those will be just a quest related to your race, a quest chain I might add. In the case of the blood elves, will be a lot about the Eversong Woods and all of that, so maybe possibly hinting at updating the zone, especially since it was rumored for a new warfront. As for the heritage armor itself, I don't have anything to show you right now, but I'll do my best to keep you updated when we get all of that delicious data mining. Now, speaking of warfronts, there will be a new warfront and will include all kinds of new buildings and upgrades and all kinds of awesome stuff and new troops.
5 minutes later.
But basically it will be based on Darkshore. Instead of humans and versus orcs, it will be night elves versus undead. So Forsaken, expect all new buildings and cool new designs. And of course, a Darkshore graphical update, which is actually really awesome. That said, again, visual stuff, I cannot wait. I expect amazing things as always. Gameplay wise, it just seems to stay the same as the current Warfront. As for gear rewards, it seems to be themed around the Forsaken for the Horde, at least like the Warfront armor, and most likely just being updated in terms of item level to match the new raid tier. And yes, there will be new raids, not just one, but two, although one of those seems to come at a later date, possibly on 8.1.5. So the main raid to come will be called Siege of Zandalar. A name is a work in progress, it seems, and it will be a 6-boss raid, but it will actually be different for each faction. So if you are Alliance, you will be actually attacking the capital of Zandalar, going through the docks all the way to King Rastakhan. And of course, with Jaina's aid, battling from the docks with your naval army into the pyramid through areas we haven't seen. As for the Horde, it will be the opposite. We will be defending the city and eventually bringing the fight to Jaina herself on her naval fleet. Oh yes, Jaina. Now it is 6 bosses, but some will obviously be different per faction, but do not let us miss out on those bosses. After completing the raid, it will be offered a way to experience the bosses assigned to each faction by talking to an NPC. With what form that will take, I don't know, maybe having a sort of faction disguise like Caverns of Time, or maybe just being ourselves fighting, although as Alliance fighting Jaina, a bit awkward to say the least. So in total that was set to bring the bosses up to 9, so it seems there will be 3 neutral bosses and another 3 based on your faction, because remember, we going inside the Zar Alor pyramid, so maybe there will be mysterious things in there for us to fight, not necessarily friendly to the Horde. This basically seems to be the Nighthold of BFA. As for the second raid, it will be the Trial of Valor type of raid instead, called Crucible of Storms, and it's just a 2 raid boss instance based in Stormsong Valley, where we will explore the depths of this area. Seems heavily Naga influenced, possibly paving a way to future Naga content, especially since there's some Nazoth eyes on the shown image and some messed up Naga. Not much else is known about this, pretty interesting nevertheless. As for islands, there will be 2 new ones which are pretty interesting. One is based on the Vrykul and another is themed around Gilneas, with far more civilization on the islands than the ones we have encountered. As for changes gameplay wise, the idea with them is to make the spawning of mobs more clustered, so I assume far more dungeon-like and not so spread around. Treasure is gonna function much in this day as well, so not like the scattered droplings we have now. And more randomized events are also planned, so all of this might make island expeditions a bit more enjoyable, but we shall see. Personally, cannot wait to see how the new islands look visually. Now, as for Azerite traits, it was mentioned briefly. Recently, we actually got some tuning or nerfs to things like Thunderous Blast and Laser Matrix, along with some others. Check in the description to see all of them, or just pause the video. But more tuning is coming and more traits are gonna come as well, probably from the new raids, stating that will be far more interesting and engaging. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Not much else was mentioned. All the Azerite system seems it's here to stay the same. We'll see what the tuning will do and what the new traits will do. Personally, I don't think it fixes the underlying issue, but hey, topic for another time. And lastly, reputation changes. Thank God. Champions of Azeroth, a neck level unlock thing by reputation, is indeed going to be account wide. And all of reputation seems is going to be accounts wide, but hold your pants, it's just towards achievements, not on the actual reputation tab. That said, Timog gear behind reputation grinds is going to be opened to all of your characters, so pretty awesome. So things like tabards and stuff like that. So speaking of which, Reputation Paragon system is coming back as well, so the extra rep that you can gain at Exalted for extra rewards. Alright, add some sense back to the mission table, work quests, and the new incursions, which most likely are gonna reward a lot of reputation. Hopefully some cool mounts in there as well, with some decent drops. I don't know about you, but I have a feeling mounts like the Frog Mount and Bee Mount are gonna come from Paragon chests. Just a feeling. And yeah, that pretty much covers it all. Now, in general, the first impression I got from the presentation was just that it felt a bit like press the emergency button to tell people that there will be more things to play soon. So don't leave. Now, personally, I'm pretty excited because I love me some story and lore, and this patch seems to bring a lot. I expect all the visual stuff, from the warfronts to the incursions to all the new content, to be pretty badass as always as well. I don't think anyone can deny that the cosmetic side and visual side of battle for Azeroth isn't great, because it is amazing. Gameplay wise, I'm still a bit worried in that sense that yes, I'll enjoy it, but I don't think any of the underlying issues with the expansion will be fixed, like the traits, islands, warfronts. Yes, it might get a little bit better, but nothing really seems to fix it, you know? We'll see. As for the raids, I have high expectations, of course, because they are always pretty awesome, but a lot of the other things Just seems a little taken from Legion and converted to work in Battle for Azeroth. But hey, do let me know your opinion on all of this down below. As always, thank you for watching, remember to like and subscribe to get more videos like this, and check out my Patreon if you wish to support the channel. Have a fantastic day everyone, and I'll see you all next time, when there's data mining. Data mining. See ya.